Okay, we've been talking about how to use Vectorworks effectively, and one of the most effective ways you can use Vectorworks is the viewport. And I've been asked several times, why do we even bother with a viewport? Why don't we just draw what we want on our design layer? So you can see right here, I am on the design layer right now. I'm on the existing conditions or the existing base plan layer. If you take a look right here, I have the proposed turned off. And one of the things that is convenient about Vectorworks is that you can, the purpose is that you just draw once. You don't have to continually redraw the uh, same exact items. So I'm just going to turn the proposed on, and you can see I've already, on this particular plan, I've already drawn over, uh, well, actually two different plans. Um, but I've already drawn over the base plan, and it's easy enough for me to just turn off the proposed, and I have my existing plan. Now I'll come back to show you how to actually create a viewport in a minute. It's actually quite simple. But I want to show you why we use a viewport. So if I just come up here to my organization panel, you'll see I have a couple of design layers. I have the canopy tree on its own layer so that visually the trees will appear above everything else. They are existing and they're going to remain, so I want them to appear as if they're above everything else. And you can see I've created quite a few classes or existing and proposed, and then some title block stuff, and then some plant categories. And I've also created a number of sheet layers. Actually, this is from my template, which I set up prior, and that is in a different video. I'll show you how. I'll show you how to do that in a different video. At any rate, I have the sheet numbers arranged this way so that the sheet titles actually follow along with my method of design development, and then the ones that follow at the end are the actual contract documents and all that kind of stuff. And here's I'm going to make a few examples right here, as a matter of fact. So let me get out of this and let's go down to my existing conditions. Okay, and as you all know, this is a navigation tool, fit to page. I just click it and it brings me to my fit to page. And you can see I already have it set up with my title block, E1, existing conditions. I have my design group in here. This is where the client's address goes. And later I'll show you this is where I'm going to put the viewport that you'll be able to see. Okay. But what I wanted to show you was why do we use the viewport? So I'm going to come to layout and materials. And I already have placed here a viewport. You can see right here. If you look up here, this says viewport. I've already placed a viewport, and what I was able to do in this viewport was to manipulate the attributes of the items that are on this plan. So in my layers category, I have my details layer turned off. And in my classes panel, now this, what I'm talking about right here, this is only affecting this particular viewport. It does not affect other viewports, nor does it affect anything on your design layer. And this is the true beauty of of using viewports is that you're able to manipulate the presentation of your drawing without having to redraw the entire thing. So here in my classes, you can see I have some things like the existing buffer, the curb, and all these things. I have them grayed out. This is the grayed column. And I have a few things turned off. I had a different proposed layout, which is turned off. This is actually the second layout. This is the one that the client preferred. Different patio and plant material and all this kind of thing. Now, what I'm going to do actually is turn something back on so that you can take a look at what it is I'm talking about. Okay, so right now I have my deciduous tree line, construction tree line. I'm going to turn that back on, and I'm going to put the tree color back on, and I'm going to put the tree tags back on. And I'm going to click OK. And now you can see all of those showed up in here. And I didn't have to redraw anything. And now let me go back and turn them back off. So I actually want the construction document line just to be gray for this particular drawing. I want the tree color off. I want the tree tag line off. And I click OK. And I'm back to what I really want for this, which is the hardscape in the back here, showing what the hardscape is for this thing. This is my layout materials. Okay. And then I have a reference marker, meaning go to drawing 1 on sheet L6. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So I come down to sheet L6, and here is my drawing. That looks the same exact, doesn't it? And that's because it is. I am going to show you one of the ways to manipulate a viewport as far as scale and cropping and all that kind of thing. I just double click. I'm going to click crop here. I just want to show you something, and I have gray outside the crop, and I also have display the viewport outside the crop. In other words, you'll see the crop come up. That's this line right here, this peach colored line that goes around. I want to display outside of that. You'll see what I'm talking about in 1 second. And now you can see this is my viewport, and these are all the things that are outside of it. So all I did was take the same exact drawing from the layout material sheet, and I pasted it into this sheet. And then I cropped this down to the size that I wanted. And then I moved the scale so that this shows up better. And then what I did from here is same technique. This is referencing this circle looking thing right here. And it's saying to look at drawing 1 on sheet L7. So let's take a look at drawing 1 on L7. And there it is again. And you can see it's the same exact drawing. I haven't done anything different. And now somebody can get a little bit better idea of what's going on there. I have a human person standing there. This is a top view, so it's just the top view of a person. I have some notes that are here. I have a scale bar. These are all associated with just this one viewport. Okay. This only takes a few minutes. I'm able to add notes. I don't have to redraw the whole thing, and therefore I'm not making any mistakes. Okay. So how do you actually create a viewport? Okay, so I'm going to go back down to existing. This is my existing design layer. And if I don't have anything selected, you see I have no selection here. And I use this navigation tool called Fit to Objects. It will fit me to whatever objects that are here. And this is my existing condition. I have the house here, it's garage. This is a driveway that goes to the street. This is the property line right here, which actually does not go to the street. It's my turf area, which actually goes outside of the property line. There's a couple of existing trees here and a couple of existing shrubs right here. Okay. So what I usually do is I create a class called viewport. And the reason that I create this class is there's no danger of me accidentally turning this off for some reason. There'd be no reason for me to turn this off. You know, when I was turning on and off different classes before, depending on what I wanted the drawing to show, there's no way to accidentally turn this off. If it was in none or if it was in sheet or something like that, it might accidentally get turned off. And I don't want that. So I'm just going to leave it here. I create my own, and then there's no mistake about that. So I make this my active class. And then you can pick any shape that you want, or a polygon. You can create a unique shape. I think that the rectangle works the easiest, but there's no rule against that. And what I do is I just draw my box or your polygon, whatever you want, around the items that I want to make a viewport of. And then I come up here to View, click down to Create Viewport. And now this opens up a dialog box for me. And it's asking me, what do I want the viewport name to be? And I usually take the default. What I want the drawing title to be, you can put whatever you want on that. I'm going to say base plan. Sorry. What layer do I want it on? So I want it on my sheet layer called existing conditions, E1. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask me what layers do I want to show. Now this you can change later on, but this is what I wanted to show, the existing and the canopy tree, just the way I have it now. And it's going to ask me what classes do I want. Now, by default, anything that is turned on or off at the moment will be turned on and off here. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I can always change it later. It's asking me what scale do I want the viewport to be. And I think that 1 inch equals 20 feet fits. But again, I can change this later if I need to. I do want the top plan view, and I do just want wireframe rendering for now, and the 2D plane for projection. Let me talk quickly about a couple of these. You can change the view, which I will show you in a moment, how I change the view on one of these drawings. You can also change the rendering. I'm going to get into some of this other type of rendering in a different video. Wireframe means basically just the line work, and if you have a fill color for attribute, that's what it'll do. And 2D plan, you can have different projections. Normally, we use just 2D plan, orthogonal, or perspective, but I try to stick with 2D plan. Very simple. And then I click OK. And now I'm on my existing, you can see it's right here. This is my existing conditions sheet layer. So that's what's active. And if I come here to my object info palette, I can see that the viewport is selected. I mean, it looks like something right there, but I'm not quite sure what it is. But if there is something selected in the object info palette, then what you do is just come to the tool right here that we used before called Fit to Objects, and it will bring you directly to whatever it is that was selected in your object info palette. And you can see that it actually did land right on my page. So now I have this. I'm missing a couple of things though, and most glaringly is the scale bar and the orientation, besides my client's name. So let me do this first. I'll just quickly type in client's name. That's good enough. I know that my scale is 1 inch equals 20 feet. Okay. And let's see, what else do I know? And I know today's date is okay. Now my title bar is complete. Now, the way to, well, let me show you something first. Let me go back to my existing condition. And I just want to show you that the house itself, if you just look at the data bar there, is 44 feet 6 inches in length on the long side. Okay. Now let's go back to my existing condition sheet. And if I just measure this right now, it says it's only 2.242 inches, which we know is incorrect. And the reason for that is that this object, meaning the viewport, is at a scale. It's scaled down. And this can be a little confusing, so you just have to take your time and think it through a little bit and then follow these directions. It's very simple. The way to annotize this is you double click and then you come into the Edit Viewport dialog box and you click on Annotations and you click OK. And now you're inside of the viewport. And now if I take a measurement of this, you can see on the floating data bar that it is 44 feet 6 inches, which is what we want. Okay, so now what we do is we set up our orientation. So my north arrow. Now you can do this outside of the viewport. I almost always do it inside. I just find it easier in case I have to copy and paste it. It's always there. Now, if I left this, I neglected to do something, which I'm going to explain in a minute. If I left this the way it is, you can see that there is no circle. And that's because this item is in the viewport class. And it really should be either in none or dimension. I almost always put it in dimension. And now you can see the circle is there. So let me go ahead and change the active class to dimension for when I put in my scale bar, which is on my basic, no, excuse me, not my basic tool, but my tool set. And it's under the dims and notes menu. Now here, the way this works is you click once to set it, and then you drag one way or the other to set the orientation of how you want this to appear, and click one more time. And it's going to give you some information. So you can go in quickly and change it if you want to. If you want the printed height, meaning the actual printed height, to be more or less than 1/4 of an inch, you would change it here. If you wanted the minor length, meaning these spaces right here, from here to here, is 5 feet. Let me show you. From 0 to here is 5 feet. You can see it right there in the data bar. Okay. The minor is 5 feet. And the major length is 10 feet. So you can see 20 to 30, that's 10 feet. Now, if I was just to leave this like this, and you look in your attribute panel, this one right here, you can see that white is the fill. And so it's hard to distinguish these. So I almost always change it to black. Okay. Now that has that look. You can actually have this not in checker. You can have it as zigzag. You can have it as box. I almost never do that. Line, which is this one. Or flip, which is this one. I like the checker. I'm going with the checker. Now, it does appear to me, though, that this font is a little bit big for this size drawing. So the way to change that is to select it and then come up to text and your font and look for the size. And it has it at 12. I think that's a little high. I'm actually going to put it all the way down to 8. I think that gives a better look. And then I'm going to set these where I want them. So I'm just going to put this right here. Okay, and what the hell, I like it to be even. So I just set it right there. Again, you don't have to exactly do it this way. It's what your graphic preference is. And then when you're all done, you can just click Exit Viewport Annotation. And now you can see it's right there on the page with it. And if you move this, it moves with it. You can see right here, everything moved. And now that is, that's all set. That's my existing condition. So let me just show you a few other things that goes on with the, well, first I'll show you what goes on with the different sheets. So what you can do is set up a base. So this is how I usually start. This is actually on letter size. And there's no title bar here, excuse me, title block. But what I do, I do identify it. I identify what the drawing is, and then my little logo and blah, blah, blah. And then I give a little text, words to go along with this very, very basic, very quick idea. And normally I try to come up with 2 or 3. This case I did come up with 3. That's the second one, and here's a third one. Okay. And after reviewing those, the client did choose this one, the second one. She liked the concept of it and stuff like that. So then I just had to start, working out some of the details. And what I did was I did a couple of perspectives for her. This is a little Photoshop thing. I took some photographs of her place, and I just played around with some of the plant material in there. This is the front of her house. And I try to make a very sketchy, very dreamy kind of look because I don't want to get too specific at this point. I just want to try to get a concept across. And then this was towards the side yard. Okay. Now here's what I want to show you though about using the perspective, using the different views. Okay. So if you look over in the object info palette right here, you can see that this is a viewport. It's the same exact viewport. I didn't have to redraw this. And the view is left isometric. Okay. And that gives a nice little look. I did do a very basic little drawing in 3D for her. So what I want to do is just give a little update, and you can see this. This gives her an idea of what it is I'm talking about. Just a very simple grid pattern with some sort of focal point, a little unique paving here, and a tree. I don't think you can get any more basic than that. But if I double click here to crop, you can see that, well, the rest of it's gone. I cut it out. Anyway, I didn't have to redraw this. This is just the same drawing that I had before, and I just turned a bunch of things on and off so that she was only going to see this little idea. Okay. I guess that's it. Take your time with viewports. They're very powerful, and they make They make your process much cleaner, much quicker, and easier on yourself. Okay, take care.